going on a passionate Harry Potter rant today. Let's go. Woo. Get fired up, get fired up. Hello, my name is Lucy, and today I'm going to talk about how we as Harry Potter fans need to stop glorifying conjuring the same Patronus as somebody, and how that's not actually a good thing. Throughout the series, there have been a lot of examples and acts of true love between characters. In spite of all of this, most of these characters' Patronuses do not change. There are a few instances in the series where somebody's Patronus does change due to true love. And we are going to see today how conjuring the same Patronus is actually not true love, but unhealthy obsession. Let's get right into it. Now first, we are going to talk about perhaps the most controversial topic in the entire Harry Potter franchise. That of Severus Snape, Lily Evans, and James Potter. We all know that James's Patronus is a stag, Lily's is a doe, and Snape's is also a doe, because of his love for Lily, or his love for Lily. Now I'm sure that Snape did genuinely love Lily at one point, but I don't think that it was always on that level. I understand that Snape had a hatred for James, and how hard it must have been to see Lily fall for him over the years, since James treated Snape very poorly during their time at Hogwarts. But James eventually stopped being a bully well by the time they were in the Order together. Now I know that the scars of being bullied are not easily healed, even if your bully did grow into a better person. However, Lily was happy with James, and eventually with baby Harry, and if Snape really loved her at this point, he would have accepted her rejection, and it would have been enough just knowing that she was happy. There are a few examples of this in other forms of media that I would like to bring to light, and I wrote them down, so I'm going to read them. At the end of Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy tells Elizabeth, who has bewitched him body and soul, mind you, "My affections and wishes have not changed, but one word from you will silence me forever." At the end of season 7 of Frasier, Niles blatantly says to Daphne, who he adores, "I can accept it if the answer is no," and he was willing to let her marry Donnie if that's what would make her happiest, even though that's not what'll make him happy. At the end of Glee season 3, when Finn sends Rachel to New York, it's because of his unconditional love for her. He knows that she belongs in New York and needs to pursue her dream without him standing in her way. These examples drive forward the point that if you really love someone, you will let them go if that's what will make them happy. Like the wise Olaf says, love is putting someone else's needs before yours. But instead of doing this, when Snape found out that Lily was on Voldemort's hunt list, he thought about throwing James and baby Harry under the bus to save only her. And not only that, he literally bullied and harassed children 20 years after because he couldn't have her. He carried this bitterness that awoke when he was a teenager into middle age, and that's not healthy. The fact that Snape conjured the same Patronus as Lily never meant that he was her soulmate. In fact, we know canonically that he's not. J.K. Rowling said long ago that James and Lily's Patronuses being a stag and a doe mean that they are literally soulmates and that they were always meant to end up together. So by J.K. Rowling's definition, conjuring the same Patronus as somebody does not mean that that's the person that you were meant to be with. That said, let's talk about the other instance in the series where somebody's Patronus changed for somebody else due to loving them. Tonks's Patronus changing for Remus Lupin. Now if you've seen my top 5 Harry Potter ships video, you can probably infer that I am not a big fan of Remadora or Remus and Tonks. I think the case could easily be made that Tonks was overly obsessed with Remus. First of all, Tonks was probably very tantalized by the idea of Remus. She's always been a cool, spunky character who's liked living on the edge. Although Remus told her that it's no picnic, the fact that he was a werewolf probably was very intriguing to her. Also, She was likely very in awe of him when first getting to know him. He's older, he's very intelligent, very talented, and I'm sure very handsome. And it is admirable how he's gotten his being a werewolf under control over the years. I have no doubts in my mind that she praises and looks up to all of that. These two things may have caused her to think that she was incredibly in love with Remus, but I think that she was naively obsessed with him and the idea of him. And like we've established through Snape, Lily, and James, the fact that her Patronus turns into his doesn't mean that they were meant to be together. Say that my Wolfstar heart is clouding my vision if you want, but I really do believe that Sirius and Remus were soulmates, and I don't think that that belief will ever change. Now, I'm not saying that Remus isn't allowed to move on after Sirius dies, because if I was saying that, I would be a hypocrite. But what he and Tonks had with her obsession with him, I don't think is the best thing. Now I'm going to talk about instances in the Harry Potter series of genuine love, and where the Patronuses did not change, and how they differ from the unhealthy situations I just described. We're first going to talk about Ginny's love for Harry. Now, we all know how much Ginny loved Harry throughout this series. She was always there for him, she defended him, sometimes when nobody else would. And like she said, she never gave up on him. But this was never an unhealthy obsession. It was pure love. We all know how deeply Ginny loved Harry, but unlike Snape or Tonks, her Patronus never changed. It was always a horse. It never turned into a stag. And Ginny is like the prime example in the series of someone who really loved somebody else the entire time. Another obvious case of true love in the series is that of Ron and Hermione. They spent literally years pining after each other, and they were genuinely in love by the end of the series, and a good while before that. And their Patronuses actually symbolize this, much like James and Lily's. Hermione's Patronus is an otter, while Ron's is a Jack Russell Terrier. Factually, Jack Russell Terriers are known to chase otters. J.K. Rowling did this on purpose. Like James and Lily, the fact that Ron and Hermione were meant to be together is shown through their Patronuses, but not because they change, but because they complement each other. And this is how it should be. Someone should love you for you, not because you're changing yourself for somebody else. And your Patronus is a reflection of who you are. Your Patronus changing for somebody else is not good. It doesn't equate to true love, but rather it equates to unhealthy obsession, and could even go as far as to be seen as a symbol of changing yourself for somebody else. And we all know that that's not a good thing. Whoop! I feel so alive! Ha! I should make a playlist called Come Rant With Me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. I hope you have a magical day, and thank you for watching.